It's about the size of 140 football fields and has at least 800 buildings.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the greatest hubs of human civilization over the last millennium. At the dawn of each century, the ebb and flow of progress saw different cities flourish in culture, population, and economic might.
27 centuries, 3 empires, 1 historic peninsula.
1000, Cordoba, Spain. In the year 1000, Cordoba wasn't just a city in the world, it was the city of the world. Under the Caliphate of Cordoba, it was the largest and most advanced metropolis in Europe. While much of the continent was still finding its way out of the Dark Ages, Cordoba flourished as a beacon of knowledge, science, and culture. Its great mosque stood as a testament to Islamic architectural brilliance.
The huge extension projects made the Mosque of Cordoba the largest mosque in the world in the 10th century.
Its libraries, around 70 of them, housed hundreds of thousands of books. This ornament of the world was a cultural and economic center, fostering tolerance between Christians, Muslims, and Jews alike.
But the Catholic king will take the unexpected decision not to destroy the building.
1100, Baghdad, Iraq. Long before becoming a seat of international conflict, Baghdad was the jewel of the Islamic Golden Age. As the capital of the Abbasid Caliphate, it was the world's greatest hub for trade, science, and culture.
The palaces of ancient Baghdad have been lost over the centuries. But in its glory, it rivaled ancient Athens or Rome.
Baghdad was at the center of civilization, linking Europe, Asia, and Africa. At the time, Baghdad had a population of around 500,000, and its citizenry was a large, cosmopolitan mix of workers, artisans, and thinkers. Its famed House of Wisdom attracted scholars from around the world. There, they advanced knowledge in astronomy, mathematics, medicine, and philosophy.
Scholars made Baghdad the jewel of the world.
Though political instability loomed on the horizon, Baghdad's flourishing intellectual and economic life made it the undisputed heart of the medieval Islamic world.
Innovations either came from Baghdad or quickly came to Baghdad because the best people came to Baghdad.
1200, Kaifeng, China. In the year 1200, Kaifeng was the stunning gem of the Song Dynasty. A bustling metropolis and key trade hub, Kaifeng was among the largest cities in the world. Historians estimate that it housed more than 1 million citizens.
Population of more than 1 million, Kaifeng was once the largest city in the world.
Strategically located along the Grand Canal, it connected China's wealthiest regions and enabled the flow of goods, culture, and ideas. The city was renowned for its vibrant marketplaces and thriving art scene. Kaifeng was the home to great innovations in both printing and ceramics.
酒店、茶坊、客店，接挂着名家书画。
It was also a beacon of administrative sophistication, home to the Song Dynasty's remarkable advances in governance and civil service. A true urban marvel, Kaifeng symbolized China's dominance in global trade and culture during the 13th century.
Well, with its 2,000-year history, Kaifeng won't fail to surprise you.
1300, Cairo, Egypt. At the dawn of the 14th century, cities like Hangzhou dazzled with their size and sophistication. Marco Polo even described it as the finest and most splendid city in the world. Yet Cairo outshone them all. The thriving capital of the Mamluk Sultanate was a crucial crossroads of global trade, culture, and power. At its peak, Cairo's population exceeded 500,000, making it one of the largest cities on Earth. It dominated trade routes linking Africa, Europe, and Asia. Bustling markets like the Khan el-Khalili brimmed with exotic goods, spices, and gold. Beyond commerce, Cairo was a cultural beacon. Its Al-Azhar University was, and still is, one of the world's oldest continuously operating universities and a center for Islamic learning.
Arab scholars were poring over translations of the classics from Persian, Chinese, Sanskrit, and above all, from Greek.
1400, Nanjing, China. In the 15th century, Nanjing stood as the heart of the Ming Dynasty's might. Serving as the capital for much of the century, it was a beacon of innovation, prosperity, and architectural grandeur.
It's the capital city of the Jiangsu province, but it was also the capital of ancient dynasties that ruled over China.
In addition to its massive population, Nanjing was home to the Ming Xiaoling Mausoleum, a massive resting place for the dynasty's founder. Nanjing played a vital role in global trade, serving as a hub for the exportation of silk and porcelain. Its luxuries represented China's unmatched refinement in that era. Its sprawling city walls were some of the largest ever built, an incredible feat of architectural brilliance and military might.
About 600 years ago, during the Ming Dynasty, the first emperor unified China, and he wrote a story about how he did that.
1500, Beijing, China. European travelers to China at the turn of the 16th century could have no doubt Beijing was the radiant epicenter of a burgeoning Chinese empire.
It's the largest complex of palace buildings anywhere in the world.
The palace, known as the Forbidden City, completed just decades earlier, was an awe-inspiring symbol of imperial power. Its architectural innovation was unmatched, featuring over 9,000 intricately designed rooms. At the time, Beijing's population surged past 1 million souls. The city was a key node in China's extensive trade networks. The tremendous Grand Canal linked Beijing to vital southern economic centers.
Would have been full of barges carrying workers, soldiers, materials, and grain supplies north.
Its strategic location fortified China's defenses along the Great Wall, ensuring the city's pivotal role in both governance and security. The Beijing of 1500 was the leader in cultural sophistication, military strength, and unmatched scale.
They've never seen this level of craftsmanship. They've never seen the scale of Beijing or the Forbidden City.
1600, Istanbul, Turkey. It's no surprise that so many of the greatest cities in human history were places where East met West.
It's the only city in the world that straddles 2 continents. This prime location made it the perfect spot for empires to rise, fall, and rise again.
In the year 1600, that confluence of culture and trade was centered in Istanbul. Once known as Constantinople, Istanbul was the capital of the Ottoman Empire. Since before the Crusades, the city held a strategic position along key trade routes between Europe and Asia. Markets like the Grand Bazaar were abuzz with traders from all over the world, dealing in spices, silks, and furs.
For the pinnacle of Ottoman shopping, visitors seek out the Grand Bazaar.
It was a cultural melting pot and a pivotal center for diplomacy and trade.
Today, even though Turkey is governed from Ankara, Istanbul remains the financial, cultural, and historic center of this country.
1700, Ayutthaya, Thailand. As the 18th century began, Edo, modern-day Tokyo, was booming under Japan's Tokugawa shogunate. The city was renowned for its cultural renaissance and had a population rivaling the largest cities of Europe. But while Edo was revolutionizing Japan, Ayutthaya, the Siamese capital, stood as the true giant of the world stage.
By the early 1700s, the kings of Ayutthaya had become masters of trade.
With a population of over 1 million, Ayutthaya was the largest city on earth. It dazzled with its wealth, grand temples, and diverse society. Ayutthaya connected Europe, India, and China, blossoming with wealth and global trade.
And it became a popular waypoint for merchants as they traveled east and west.
Travelers would soon call it the Venice of the East. Sadly, this glittering city was sacked in 1767, but its legacy endures in the ruins and stories of its golden age.
It was the end of Ayutthaya.
1800, Paris, France. Although Asian cities like Kolkata were growing exponentially, by the 19th century, Europe was the center of the world stage. After the breakaway of the British colonies in America, revolutionary fervor spread throughout France. Their Great Revolution found its home in Paris. The city had transformed into a crucible of ideas, birthing concepts of liberty and equality that rippled across the globe. Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte's rise made Paris the epicenter of European military and political might, as France expanded its colonial dominance.
As for the buildings, they're some of the most iconic that the city has to offer.
From grand boulevards to cutting-edge scientific advances, Paris symbolized both the tumult and triumph of a rapidly changing world. At the start of the 19th century, Paris wasn't just a city, it was the cultural center of human civilization. 1900, London, England. As the 19th century gave way to the 20th, the British Empire had become the largest in the history of the world. As the famous saying went, the sun never set upon it. London was the seat of British power, and by 1900, with a population of over 6 million, it was the largest city on Earth. Anyone interested in finding a foothold in global trade or culture went to London. Its ports were among the busiest, connecting Britain to its colonies and beyond. Its streets teemed with mechanical innovations from the Industrial Revolution. The city also led in finance, with institutions like the Bank of England shaping global economics. London's Victorian architecture, thriving theaters, and cutting-edge technologies made it a beacon of modernity.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into Settings and switch on your notifications.
2000. Tokyo, Japan. In the year 2000, New York City was basking in its reputation as a global capital. Wall Street fueled the global economy. Broadway was a cultural touchstone. Yet Tokyo emerged as the heavyweight champion of commerce and culture.
Crowded subways and cluttered streets, fused with neon chaos.
By the turn of the millennium, Tokyo was home to over 12 million residents. The Greater Tokyo area was the most populous metropolitan region on Earth. Its unique blend of futuristic technology, economic clout, and cultural innovation made Tokyo the epicenter of the future.
Driven by its huge population and frenzied economy, Tokyo is constantly under construction.
Its modern infrastructure was a perfect blend of tradition and technology. Companies like Sony and Toyota dominated the marketplace, while cultural exports like sushi and anime dominated hearts and minds.
Tokyo never sleeps.
What do you think will be the greatest human city at the turn of the next century? Let us know in the comments below.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.